Misread it.
No,
Everything that.
no, I sent it, but it's okay.
This thing.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 9th, 2025 meeting of Community Board 11th Environment, Open Space and Parks Committee. My name is Rosa Diaz, and I am the chair of this committee. This meeting is called to order at 6:32 p.m. Tonight, we are joined by Marlene Pierre, the staff liaison to our committee, substituting our staff liaison to our committee. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. No one may speak until granted the floor. Community Board 11 members. If you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. To raise your hand through Zoom, please click the participants icon and you will find the raise hand function there. Members should not engage in a back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the person next to speak. Please keep your questions and comments brief and on topic to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have any questions or comments about the subjects on the agenda, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Marlene, thank you so much. Please do roll call.
Jocelyn Cruz. Rosa Diaz,
Present.
Stanley Johnson. Connie Lee. Present. Malik McCullough. Samantha Pedrero. Present. Debbie Quinones. Russell Schuler
Present.
and Michelle Wiltron Clements.
Present.
We have a forum.
I do?
Yep.
Oh, cool, awesome, thank you so much. All right. Okay, so the agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and was posted online. If there's no objections, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Committee members, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand to be recognized. Any objections? None, the agenda is adopted. The minutes from our last meeting of December were distributed to the committee members ahead of time by the board office. If there's no objection, we will adopt the minutes from that meeting. Committee members, if you object to adopting the minutes, please let us know. Okay, the minutes for December are adopted. I guess the minutes will be taken by myself again. We are going to start with announcements. Beautiful. Marcus Garvey Park Street Tree Care, excuse me, join the New York City Parks Stewardship Team to celebrate Mulch Fest. Volunteers will help restore local canopy, and learn about the benefits of our city street trees provide. The event will start at 120th Street and Madison Avenue, New York, Saturday, January 11th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. East Harlem Street Care joined the Parks and Stewardship to celebrate Martin Luther King's Day of Service. Volunteers will help restore local canopy and learn about the benefits of our city street trees provide. The event will start on 2nd Avenue and East 100th Street, New York on Monday, January 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. NYCDB is partnering with Ameresco, the New York Power Authority, and the New York City Department of Citywide Administrative Services to develop solar energy to power the Wards Island wastewater resource recovery facility located in Wards Island, Manhattan. The purpose of the project is to produce carbon neutral energy to power the Wards Island. These projects would be executed under an agreement amongst these parties for the lifespan of the project. anticipated to be 20 years in option for renewal. Informational items. We have Department of Parks and Recreation. Anyone from Parks and Recreation?
Yes, that's right. Myself, Steve Simon, and Shastine are here.
And
Thank you.
I'm here too. Tapashi's here.
Thank you. Yeah.
But right now, I think Matt Gendrich is supposed to give his report.
Typically we have Tapashi start and then for Marcus Garvey and then or I can fill in. So as reported already, we're gonna have Mulch Fest this weekend at Marcus Garvey Park on Saturday and Sunday, and there will be volunteer opportunities through tree stewardship there from 11 to 1. So please come and enjoy the festivities. If you can't bring your tree to Marcus Garvey Park, you can leave your tree out for DSNY to pick up, and they will make sure your tree gets composted on recycling days. Other than that, I don't have too many more updates. Tapashi, I'll kick it over to her for any programming updates.
Hi folks, good evening. So I actually realized there's a bit of confusion around Mulch Fest that's happening at Marcus Garvey and also the Stewardship Tree Care event, which is happening on the perimeter of Marcus Garvey as well. So Mulch Fest is both Saturday and Sunday happening inside of the park on the Madison Avenue side, close to the Oval Lawn. And then the stewardship event is happening just on Saturday on the perimeter of the park. This is for street trees. So it's on the perimeter of the park, and that starts at, I think, let's see. It's at 11 to 1 p.m. So just want to make that clarification. They're both parks events, but the main event with Mulch Fest, where you can get hot chocolate, granola, get some mulch to take home, and some smelly bags. You'll get that within the park at 122nd and Madison Avenue. Sorry, I realized one of my somebody emailed me saying they were a bit confused because the park's website didn't match what the park's events page didn't match what they were seeing. So I just wanted to offer that clarification. Also, I'll give you a reminder about the Marcus Garvey construction. So we've closed down the Fifth Avenue entrance, and we should have also closed down the entrance to the dog run from 120th Street. So 120th Street is basically all closed off. They wanted to bring in trucks and lay some asphalt. Not sure if they were able to lay the asphalt because we needed a bit warmer weather in the 30s and 40s to do so. So I know I had previously said it would be a week of closures, but since given the weather, it might be a bit longer that the 120th side is closed. But once I get clarification on that, I will email the community board who can update you all. Does anyone have any questions on the construction?
Yes, we have a committee member, Michelle.
Hi, Apache. I have a question more so just to clarify where in the park and what time for the mulch, because you said the 11 to 1 p.m. and 122 is for the stewardship. But what time on Saturday and Sunday is the mulch for Marcus Garvey?
So the street tree care event is for street trees on the perimeter. So that's at 120th Street, on 120th Street. So 120th Street and go to meet like close to Madison. Isn't on the website it says the dog run, but they're not going to be on the inside of the park. They're going to be on the outside at 120th. So that's the street trees. For the mulch, hot chocolate, your trees being chipped up, that's going to be inside the park at where, where the playground is and then the big oval lawn. We're going to be in that multi-purpose surfaced area.
And the mulching, the chipping of the trees is from 10 to 2.
Yes, thank you.
And the volunteering, doing tree stewardship work is from 11 to 1.
Thank you.
Okay, and then also, I do have one more item. For Historic Harlem Parks, we're having a super hike with the Urban Park Rangers on Saturday, February 8th, this year, from 12 to 2. You can join the Urban Park Rangers. It starts at Morningside Park and it goes through St. Nicholas, ending at the northern tip of Jackie Robinson. You'll learn about history, geology, and ecology of those Harlem parks. They don't come through Marcus Garvey, which is a bit surprising, but I think it's more along that route of all the linear parks. So please come out. I've given them some historical information about those 3 parks. So it'll be a great opportunity to learn about them. You can register online or you can just show up on the day of. This is on the parks website, so I can put it in the chat for you.
Yes, please do put it in the chat, so we can also send it out to, the community.
Okay. Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you, Tabashi.
Problem.
Any other, updates?
I can do Randall's Island.
Yes, please.
So yes, I'll just quickly do update for Randall's Island. One big thing I wanted to bring attention is the Randall's Island Park Alliance has posted seasonal job positions. We have some year-round as well posted. I'm going to drop in the chat. It's for maintenance positions at the stadium, field technicians, field turf maintenance, operations and general maintenance positions, as well as a few others in programming. So it's a good opportunity, and we'd love for community board to share that information around for these. They're really great job opportunities out at the park. And I just have 2 volunteer events or opportunities that we have out at the park. We're doing a weekly composting event out at the urban farm. So from every Saturday from 10 to 1, you can come out. They're doing composting food scraps, materials like that to kind of use in the farm itself. So if people are interested in composting, it's a great opportunity. And on January 18th, Martin Luther King Day of service at the park, we actually have asking people to come out and volunteer. We're putting together the seed packets that we have. So a lot of times with a lot of our events, especially on the farm, we distribute to the community these packets of seeds so they can take home and do the plantings at home. They're really popular. So we have volunteers come out during this time of year to kind of help us put the packets together. So we're ready for the spring when it comes together. So that's January 18th. There's an afternoon and a morning and an afternoon volunteer opportunity there. That's really about all I have for Randall's. Any question? I see a hand went up. Or is that from before?
Yes.
The question is, for the Park Alliance seasonal positions, what are the qualifications?
They're all different ones. They're different types of it. Some of them have a little more horticulture or background ones. Some of them are not very much. They're general maintenance positions. We have maintenance positions at the stadium and in the park itself, which they don't really. I think it might be a driver's license via qualification. But I'll put the post in. It's got a list. There's about 6 or 7 different types of positions, so it really varies depending on what people are looking for.
Thank you. Yes, do post it in the chat because we would love to also share it
Yes.
with
I
everyone.
absolutely will do that right now, and we'd love for you to share as well.
Thank
All right.
you.
Anything else?
We have a hand raised from Jasmine Benitez.
Any questions from committee members? Okay. Ms. Jasmine, you have been recognized.
The hand went down, so you can feel free to move on, I guess.
Okay,
Okay, went back up from Mario Medina, now has a hand raised.
of course. Mr. Medina, you have been recognized.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. For Randall's Island, is the Alliance addressing the tents? I'm not talking about the sanctions, not the migrant tents that are out there, but the pop-up tents that are along the farm area and where the horse stables are.
Yeah,
Is that being
along the
addressed?
waterfront,
Yes,
you mean?
along the
Yeah.
waterfront.
So I mean, not as much Alliance. The city, you know, New York City Parks, along with NYPD and Department of Homeless Services, do regular outreach to those areas, as well as going and, you know, kind of reaching out to people to try to get them services so they're not tenting out. It's been going on, I think, weekly as part of a program to kind of reach out to people, try to limit the amount of people that are camping out there. Um, so that's kind of been the main thing. Obviously, it is kind of an extension of the facility that's there. A lot of the people are people who were either in the facility and got out. But it is something that New York City Parks, along with NYPD and DHS, has been addressing. But it is a consistent issue. It is.
Thank you so much, David. Any other questions from committee members? Yes, oh. Any other questions? No?
I guess it's a short question. January the 18th and MLK Day, you said in the morning and in the afternoon is the time for the seed packet.
Yes.
What times were there?
Oh, I don't know I'm not sure exactly what kinds they're doing. I can try to find out for you and get you the exact one. I don't know. I think there's probably different types of seeds. It's also I also want to say it's at the stadium, so it's not doing it outside. So if people are worried about it being cold out.
But the time, the clock time.
I'm sorry.
At what time is the event taking place? You said
Sure.
that
9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. is the morning, and the afternoon is 12:30 to 2:30. And if you go to the east entrance of Icon Stadium, that's where people will be gathering, and they'll do it inside the stadium, so you're not out in the elements, obviously, doing this.
I appreciate it. Thank you, that info.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, we are moving the agenda along.
Hi,
Thank you so much.
hi, Rosa. Sorry, it's Lacey.
Rosa,
I
you
have a
to
question.
Please. You have to raise your hand. Thank you so much. You have been recognized.
Thank you, Rosa. I just want to mention, I tried to get to the DOE about this, but the space that's on 106th Street and First Avenue, it has been locked off, like connected to the school to PS 146. The principal has said that she's trying to extend the park on 106 and First Avenue. It's been like that for like 3 years. There hasn't been any speak of any parks or anything, in any of the education meetings that we attend. So I would like to know if you guys can contact the principal and really see if she has any plans to be done with that space. It takes quite up a large section of the sidewalk. The community have been using that space for a long time, and the principal up and decided to block it off and says that she has plans for it. But for the last 3 years, it's just been, kind of an eyesore, it just kind of takes up space. So we want to know if you guys can please check in and see if anything can be done, if she's not doing something with the space or if she is doing something with the space. We just want to know. We've tried to go to the DOE and nobody doesn't really have any answers. So now we're coming to the Environment, Open Space, and Parks to see maybe we can get some answers from here. Thank you.
That's 146.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
absolutely.
Malik, you have a
Yes, it's
question?
146.
Oh, okay. I think that's what, youth and education instead of us, because that's not a part, our part.
Hey, Lacey.
Hi, it's not the park that's in the back. That is Parks Department. It's the front of the school that's on 106.
Ms. Lacy, I heard your question. Let's just pause. It's not a back and forth, okay? I do highly recommend that you go to the youth and education.
It's on Tuesday.
To the youth and education, which is scheduled for Tuesday. And also, the CEC, which is us, we are able to bring this concern to Dr. Christie, who is the superintendent of the whole District 4. And obviously, together, we can advocate to renovations or expansion or cleaning or anything that has to do with any playgrounds near the school, especially in any of our District 4 schools. But I heard your question, comment, and I will, the chair of Youth and Education is here. After, would you like to
Okay, I
say
didn't want to
something?
say anything, but unless I was given permission to speak. All right, hey Lacey, it's Asher. So I'm pretty sure I have your email, so I'll send you the link for Tuesday's meeting. And Dr. Christie's usually on that meeting also. I only got part of it, but I'm sure Rosa will fill me in after. And you and I can have a discussion about it. I could point you to the correct places that you need to go.
Thank you so much, Asher. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Parks and Recreation? For committee members, okay. Department of Sanitation, do we have any representative? I know I did have the opportunity to communicate with Marisa Jani, who is the Community Affairs Liaison for the New York City Department of Sanitation. They will, when possible, they will try to attend the meetings. However, it has been very hard due to overtime restrictions, which obviously everyone has, right? But hopefully they can make next month meeting. I'm not 100% sure. She did, however, say if we have any urgent questions that we can write them down in an email, we can just send them her way. And she will try to answer them by the next meeting. Department of Environment Protection, do we have anyone? No, okay, we are moving on with parks advocacy groups. Do we have anyone from parks advocacy groups? No? Okay. Any other community-based organizations that wants to speak?
I have a presentation, so if it's possible, I can set it for another.
Are you in the agenda?
No, it's just an like general updates, but it's.
Suggestion, come.
I did,
Yes.
but it might help with the visuals, so that's why I'm not sure.
You can get some of them right here. Yay, we have someone in person.
General update. So I think
Can you
it's
do me a favor?
part of.
Open. I'm not disconnecting me twice. I'm gonna give you my email
Okay,
and just send it to me real fast.
okay.
And then I will share it for you, okay?
Yeah, I'm also in the webinar. I don't know if that's possible. Sure.
You're in it now?
Yeah, I did it just in case.
Okay, go ahead. So you should have said led with that.
Prepare.
So I will stop sharing, so
Okay.
you can do that. Go
So
ahead,
I'll
do your
stay
thing.
muted, but I'm not, but I don't think I'm as a participant, so I don't know if I can share. My name's Cynthia.
You're in the webinar as an attendee?
Yeah,
Okay, just tell me your name.
Cynthia Guerra.
Okay, so I will promote you and then you can do your thing. Okay, so
Thank
accept
you.
that and then share.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Down. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm here from Green Thumb, which is part of the Parks Department. We help support the community gardens. And I help support the majority of the gardens in Community Board 11. So just gonna give some general updates. Cynthia.
She did say it.
Cynthia Guerra. I'll say my last name too. Cynthia Guerra, and it is also on the screen just in case, but so there, just a brief update just for people who might not know a little bit about the gardens here in Community Board 11. There are 34 community gardens. They vary in jurisdiction. The majority are on Parks property. There's 22 of them. 7 are under New York Restoration Project, so they're private property, but they're run by this organization. 1 has mixed jurisdiction between Parks and YRP. 3 are with the Manhattan Land Trust, and sorry, that's a typo. 1 is with NYCHA, so it's within a NYCHA development. And just a little bit about the support we provide, and this is for you all in case you want to join a community garden or know of other community gardeners. We provide different material support. So there's certain materials we provide year round. There's also 3 times a year we do a supply and plant distribution for gardeners to help them with some of the materials they might need either in the winter season, the spring season, and with plants as well in May. And we also provide group development support. So all our gardens are run or like managed in the day-to-day by groups of volunteers. But sometimes, you know, there are different things that they might need support with, whether it's conflict, whether it's figuring out how to like find better ways of communicating with each other, how to reach out to their council members, that sort of thing. That's what we're here to support them with. Connect them to resources, different union organizations that provide a lot of resources that we may not provide, like Grow NYC, Green Gorilla, so all these types of organizations, the community board here. We did a really good tour last summer, so. And programming, we provide a lot of free workshops. We let them know about free workshops that other partners are doing as well, so that sort of thing. And all this past year, we were able to provide this type of support to 23 gardens, specifically in Community Board 11. And it really differed, just like the support, whether it's a delivery of materials, them coming to our distributions that we do. We heavily discount, have a heavily discounted rate for gardens that might want portable toilets. It's just heavily discounted if you get it through the city. So that sort of thing, 23 gardens, 23 out of 34, you know, that might be a question, right? But as a reminder, New York Restoration Project has 7 of these gardens. They do provide a lot of the materials for those specific gardens. And just an FYI, there is 1 garden that is currently closed for because there's construction happening next door to it, Jackie Robinson Community Garden. And there are 2 gardens that we will be currently inactive, but we're forming groups in them so that we can open them up. So that's kind of why the data looks that way. One big update that I wanted to give at this meeting since the start of the year is that we're kind of changing the way community engagement coordinators support like the regions that they support. So you're like, what is a community engagement coordinator? That's me. There's 10 of us, and we cover kind of the entire city. So we're all across the 5 boroughs, and we're kind of the first point of contact for the community gardeners. If they want to connect with things related to Green Thumb, or maybe they have questions about going to other community partners, elected officials, local officials on the community board. So there's 10 of us. Originally, we were assigned based on community boards. So I was doing community boards 10 and community boards 11 in Manhattan. We are now shifting that, and we will be going based off council districts. So that's a little bit to help make it a little bit more equitable with what gardens like the amount of gardens each coordinator has. And also just to help gardeners also connect more with their council members as well. As we know, there's a lot of financial resources that, council members can provide as well. And we'd love for them to be able to like make that connection and advocate for themselves more. So many of them already do that, but for those that don't. So I did want to say for Community Board 11, there's not like a huge impact because I will still be covering, maybe in Cynthia get on the screen. I will be covering the majority of the gardens, still supporting them, but we do have 1 my colleague Ashley Konecki, who will be covering 4 of the community gardens in Community Board 11. And so these are Peaceful Valley, El Barrio Garden of Angels, Jackie Robinson Community Garden, and Harlem Rose Garden. So all those 4 gardens are in Community Board 11, but they fall within District 9, Council District 9. So they weren't able to come today, but they will, I will be connecting them with all of you, and I'll be providing shortly their contacts, so you can contact them as well. Just to get a little bit of how it looks, these are all the Garden Community Board 11. And as mentioned, I'm covering the majority of them, but Ashley will be covering what you see up here, 1, which is Harlem Roses, which is the farther northernmost garden in Community Board 11. 2 and 3, which are kind of the closest to Marcus Garvey Park. That's Jackie Robinson Community Garden and El Barrio Garden of Angels. And the one that you see here, 6, is Peaceful Valley. So those are the ones that they will be covering. There's a bit of a typo. It's not 35 gardens, it's 34 gardens in Community Board 11. So please disregard number 33. And then the one other big update, or more like a notification that I want to provide everyone, is like all the gardens are always, looking for members and should be welcoming new members in. But we do like to highlight the ones that we are either actively working with or who have told us that they need support with more membership. So these are 6 gardens that you can see on the screen that are actively looking for new members. For example, El Barrio Garden of Angels had its first season this past season. So they were a completely new group. It's the photos that you see here down in the corner. What would it be? The left, lower left corner. So that's El Barrio Garden of Angels. I mean, they completely turned around that space. It's really beautiful right now. They've been good about doing events in their community. That's one of the events that you see at Gathering. But because it's such a new garden, definitely reach out if you're wanting to be a member. Like I mentioned, that's one garden where Ashley will be helping support that garden. Olga's El Gallo garden, also a garden that has had a little bit of kind of shift in membership recently. They're also looking for members. This is the one with the Puerto Rican flag above the El Barrio Garden of Angels photos. Family Community Garden is one that if you go on our website, you won't see as active, because that's one that was closed and that we're currently working to reopen. So there's a couple of volunteers that have come out, and you can see these photos. Those are the photos next to El Barrio Garden of Angels in the bottom. There's a group of volunteers that has been consistently coming out, and this is basically the group that is forming, but they will be in their very first season this upcoming season. And so it's just to keep an eye out for that garden, to come and support it when they do events. But also, again, if you're interested in joining, please do reach out. Umaka Community Garden is the one that we see right here where I put the pathway. It's a garden that's very far, on First Ave, but kind of a little bit hidden. So it has trouble getting members. But they're very much wanting to get members. They had a volunteer event where we helped redo the entire pathway. So now it's ADA accessible. And Palante Community Garden, we're going to be rebuilding that garden, but they're also looking for members. And Villa Santurce, similar. So, and one last update, because I know that I kind of came in, but kind of the one final update that I want to give is we are in the process of gathering nominations for gardeners. So every year we award either a garden group or gardeners for all the work that they do. We have different categories that we have, different categories for awards. So we have Rookie of the Year for gardens that are just starting out and are doing amazing in their first seasons. We have Community Engagement Award for gardens that go above and beyond and engaging the community. We have a Landscape Award for gardens that just have a beautiful landscape. Actually, a garden here in Community Board 11, Pleasant Village Community Garden, received it in 2020, this past year. So if you don't have to be part of a garden to make a nomination. Maybe you pass by a garden and you think it's beautiful and you would like to nominate it, or you're not a gardener, but you do interact a lot with a garden, and you would like to nominate it, please do. I can, after I'm done speaking, put all these links in the chat that you'll have them as well. But that's what I have for updates.
Awesome, thank you so much. Does anyone, yeah, does anyone have any questions? Committee member first, yes, Michelle, yes.
Okay, I appreciate you coming and giving all that wealth of information. I was very glad that the league got us on board so that we could go to all of these community gardens and see them in person. I do remember that there were some that were not just closed, you said Jackie Robinson is closed, but that is due to something else, but there were others that were closed for a period of time that just needed some loving care. What were those names of those particular gardens? I think there were more than two.
I can go back to the list so that we can maybe look at them. Family Community Garden, it was one of them. I don't know if you all remember, it had a lot of structures there. When you all visited, it was such because the person that was carrying it at the moment had unfortunately passed away. But that's the one where we're actively forming a group at the moment. So it should be opening up this coming season. They've been very committed to changing the space. If you went by it right now, structures are gone and they've built beds and, you know, they've been working really hard to redo the space. So that's Family Community Garden. The other one would be, I think, Pueblo Unido, which is kind of right next to Palante Community Garden on the corner of Madison and 110th. Or not right next to, there's like two buildings in between, but that one, my goal is to this coming season start like forming a group. That there's people that are interested already, so it's just been a matter of kind of spacing out, working with Family Community Garden and then working with Pueblo Unido to help also reopen that one.
Is there any particular garden that there's no one that is looking at it so that it needs community help, it needs us to help to get it off the ground?
Is there one on the, what about the one on 122nd Street? I wanna say 122nd, 120.
Is it Carver Community Garden? It was that really big one?
It would, well, yeah, it was one by a vacant lot, but across from it, by a building over the scaffold, it was like, it's between Park and Lexington for sure.
Oh, yes, Park in Lexington, on 122nd, El Barrio Garden of Angels. So I'm gonna go here. Where is so El Barrio Garden of Angels, I think is number one that we were asking about. Yeah, that's.
The narrow,
Mhm.
okay.
And there was like another garden in front of it, kind of, Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, right across from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then that one had a big.
The scaffolding is still there, but yeah, I think.
Can we just have like a bit of order?
Okay.
I'm sorry, because I know, I'm sure that everyone is there, like, we are having an amazing discussion here, it's really, you know, productive. But the back and forth, and then another person had their hand raised, sorry about that.
It's okay. It's a two-part question. The first thing is, what do they grow in? Is it fruit, is it vegetables, like what is being grown, or do different gardens grow different things?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning that all the gardens are run by groups of volunteers, right? That they really steward the day to day. They also make the decisions over really what happens in the space in terms of what's growing in it or the type of activities that happen in it. Some gardens are very heavily involved in like food production. So they have a lot of beds. Some gardens just want to be kind of ornamental gardens where you come and you maybe sit down. So they have a lot of flowers, maybe they have a lot of trees and shade, so they don't really grow food, but that it'll look beautiful and you could come and sit on it. So it really depends on the group. The group decides together what you end up doing in that space.
Okay, the second part is, do they sell the food or do they give it to the people in the community?
Similar response in that.
It
the
varies
groups-
at different gardens.
The groups, some groups have, I'll say just that some groups do have like farm stand where they're selling the food maybe at a not as expensive as you'll find in the grocery store or something like that. And some groups do have giveaways, and it really is just kind of up to the group how they decide to do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Malik, do you wanna, another question?
No, it was just to add on to what she was.
I just wanted to finish it.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted the finish of the list of the ones that are closed or the ones that would need our help.
Yeah.
That's what I was,
Yeah. So it's actually, I would say it's this list right here. These are the ones that I would say need help getting more members, whether they're actively looking for it or like I said, we're about to kind of launch them. And what we need though, I can definitely reach out to you all when we are actively already like forming that group, because that one is completely vacant right now. And I'll reach out to you all when that.
I have a follow-up. I remember on 104th Street, or was it close to 104th Street, there was one that was completely closed. And it used to be extremely active, because I went online, I don't remember the name of it.
Is that the one with the building was next to it or something?
There are two buildings on either side, and it has like a little water path, and it has a structure inside of it.
Inside,
Yes,
And
and
104.
around 104th.
Madison?
Is that 104th Street between first, is between second and first? I mean, third and second.
Third and second and 100.
Not exactly sure where, all I know is that we were walking, it was our second tour, and we were walking a long distance to get back to
Second.
the hundreds area.
I'm not sure, but can you send us the list so we can, you know,
Yeah.
better have, instead of going like, I don't know.
I can send you also maybe a copy of when we did the tours, the itinerary, it can help maybe, you know, maybe. the
Refresher.
second tour- Yeah, refresher.
It wasn't on our list, that's what bothered me, it wasn't on our list. And we passed by it and it was closed, and it looked like it'd been closed for a long time.
If it wasn't on our list, then it is most likely, because we went to all the gardens that were registered with Quinta, it might have been on privately
Right.
through somewhere else. It wouldn't have been through us. So, because we only put all the gardens that were registered with Quinta, but there are private, you know, community gardens, or they're run by, there is one on 104th, I think, run by Union Settlement, I think. And that one's not registered with Green Thumb. I think it's called it's Sitio Feliz, maybe not, I don't remember, but yeah.
So, I believe so, but yes, please send us the presentation and we will follow up because that's one of our missions and goals for this year also. Thank you so much for coming in person,
Thank
it's so
you.
good. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not,
And there's a-
Well, there was one online who had their hand up.
I cannot see, but we acknowledge Asher, the.
Right.
person.
I'm not here as like a youth and education chair. My question is solely as a member of Pleasant Village. I saw that the construction has started over there, and this is just my concern with all that construction and stuff like blowing on the plants and stuff. How are we gonna navigate that? I'm like, cause I'm a little nervous for like, right now it's winter, so we're not really thinking about that, but once the summer comes, spring and summer and stuff like that, that the construction is gonna be in full swing, so has there been any conversations with HPD about that? And I'm not sure if I've worded my question.
No, yeah, I think I understand the question. So there's two things, you know, I don't have the information with me right now, but I know that the construction that you're talking about, because it's the one that's actually, it's the same developer for the one happening at Jackie Robinson Community
Yeah.
Garden. And one is looking, I can check out like the parks permit, usually we give a permit for developers. Kind of like stipulating what the safety plan is gonna be for these type of questions, so I can look at that. And then also, I don't know if I'm assuming you've been checking with him, but I know that you're part of a meeting with the developer as well, so I can check in. with
Well, garden membership, I'm pretty sure wouldn't be aware of that.
Okay,
So I, that's not me throwing anyone under, I wasn't aware of that meeting, so I know there was, so I will ask him about the meeting and stuff like that. But I'm asking because technically it's HPD land,
mhm.
it's not parks land, so can they kind of do whatever they want over there technically? You know, it's a slippery slope, but like, yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have the ability to kind of look over what HP's doing on their own property, but what does happen is we will create kind of agreements if they have to, especially if they have to do, for example, anything on our property, either enter parks property to get to that property to do some of the work, put up scaffolding,
Yeah.
netting, that sort of thing. So that's why I'm gonna look in to see if there
Because my
was.
main worry is like rats and stuff like that.
Right, that's another one. How are they gonna deal with the treatment of the increase in rats that usually comes with like either demolitions of buildings or construction? Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Sapashi, you have the floor.
Hi, thank you. My question is, what's the reason for changing it from community board to council board?
Yeah, it was there were two big reasons. The first one was that the way they were organized before by community board, it kind of created a more unequal distribution of gardens we supervised for each community engagement coordinator. So some, it ranged from like some community engagement coordinators overlooking gardens that had like 32 gardens to like 50 gardens on parks property. So there was like a wide range, and we're trying to make it more equitable so that we could more, properly help each of those gardens. And also to be able to build, help gardeners build up more of that relationship with the council members as well. So, it could be a little bit easier now for like a council member to say, talk to all the gardens in one district and help be that point of contact. I honestly kind of like what happened with the summer tours this past summer, and being able to like just work with all the community, all the gardens community board 11 and help make that connection. So those were the two big reasons.
Okay, thank you. And there's only 10 of you, so that's quite a range from 30 to for each individual to have between 30 and 50 gardens themselves. So thank you for that explanation.
No problem.
Just in 2 years, we're gonna be doing it again. All right, well, not this summer, the following summer. How are we gonna work that out? That's what my question would be. For those gardens, only you, and then for the other 4 her.
So
Because look, I mean, we're gonna have to go a distance, I'm guessing, just to get to the next one for her 4.
yeah. No, I think we talk a lot with each other, like our community engagement coordinators, we're a team, we all talk to each other, so. In whenever that happens again in 2 years' time, me and Ashley would be coordinating together, so it wouldn't be that we do all her gardens together, we would probably just kind of work together on the days where we have mixed gardens,
Okay.
that sort of thing. But it'd be helpful to, for that type of thing, to put us both, just so that we're kind of both in the loop. Yeah,
And then lastly, it's 10 of y'all from the Manhattan or
for the entire city.
So you have more than 30,
Yeah, so for example,
not
before,
just our district, other districts as well.
so last year, say, before we did the restructuring, it was community board 11, which is these that you see, but then community board 10 has a close to an equal amount, maybe a little bit less. So it was a matter of, particularly for the gardens, the big kind of spectrum was with the gardens that are in under parks property. And that's the ones where we're engaged with the most, just because we have also more responsibility with those gardens. But yeah, now we've switched it, and now it's by council district. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a good idea because you guys will have better communication. Communication with the council members and can actually, drag, I guess, the executive board, hey, come and meet your council member, because sometimes there's a disconnect,
Yeah.
So, but thank you for all your hard work, and here I thought that we were hardworking.
No, everyone's hardworking. Everyone's hardworking.
Okay, so now, thank you so much. Send us the presentation so we can send it to everyone. And we are going to move on the agenda to presentations and discussion. The renovation of East River Playground at PN 146 on East 106th Street and FDR Drive by Rebecca Camper, New York City Parks Landscape Architect.
Yeah, let me, Rosa, let me begin. This is Steve Simon. I'm the Manhattan Chief of Staff at the Parks Department. And thank you for giving us time and considering this proposed design for the reconstruction of the East River Playground. This project is especially important because it is part of our Community Parks Initiative, in which the mayor provides funding for parks that have not seen any significant improvements in at least 20 years. And in this case, as you can see, roughly $6.2 million has been allocated towards this project. 4 other parks in East Harlem, Playground 103, which is pretty close to this one, White Park, James Weldon Johnson Playground, and Abraham Lincoln Playground have previously been upgraded through the CPI program. These were very successful renovations and were well received by the community. I don't know. Do I see Russell Schuler in the meeting here?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so Russell should be able to testify to the work we did at the Abe Lincoln Playground, and we hope to accomplish the same thing at East River. We held a community input meeting last June to learn what people would like to see in the renovated playground. Their input, as you'll be able to see in this presentation, has been incorporated into the plan. And we invited all those who registered for that meeting to attend tonight to see how their input was used and possibly to offer additional comments. I'm being joined tonight by Shastine Van Voigt, Deputy Director for our Design Development Team in our Capital Division, and by Rebecca Canfer, the Landscape Architect who is managing this project and who will do the rest of the presentation. Let me just mention that I see that John Ernsberger, Deputy Director of our Capital, our Manhattan team at Capital, is also attending, and he is going to help bring this project to fruition. So let me turn it over to Rebecca, who will do the presentation, and you'll see that she has come up with what I believe is a very good design, which I hope the committee will embrace. So Rebecca, take it away.
Great. Thanks so much, Steve. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here this evening with you all. As Steve mentioned, we had a community input meeting last June. We've also more recently had the opportunity to meet with the school PS 146 leadership for some valuable discussion and received feedback about the design. And so in this presentation, we've taken all of the community feedback into consideration for developing and refining this playground design. And tonight I'm here to share that with you. And then after the presentation, we're really excited to hear your thoughts and any questions you may have. So the first several slides are going to be some site context and existing conditions. And I'm just going to make sure there might be a bit of a delay in my changing the slide. Oh, there we go. Okay. And so in the interest of saving time, I'm going to go through these initial slides a little bit more quickly. We can always go back afterwards. This is just so that we can get to the exciting part, which is the proposed design, and then the latter discussion. So to begin with, the goals for the project included upgrading play capacity for users of the playground to provide multi-generational seating opportunities, additional environmental amenities, and also the last one, to reconfigure the site layout and circulation. This is related to a future project for a new park house and public restrooms within the playground. This is an important district headquarters for our maintenance and operations group at parks. And so this was a really important consideration for the entire vision of the playground in the future. Okay, here's the project location. We're in the East Harlem neighborhood, right up next to FDR Drive. The playground site is within the 100-year floodplain. There's no risk of stormwater flooding, though 2080 future high tides may affect the site in the future. The surrounding area includes multifamily residential and mixed use. And for parks context, this is the main playground for the immediate neighborhood, so it's really important. Here we have an existing conditions plan that shows the playground site as it is today. And just to note, A few items. This includes kind of two main use areas. To the right is the playground area, which also includes Central Park House, which has the public restrooms. To the left is that large asphalt MPPA area, also with the basketball and handball courts, which the school uses that left area during school hours. We have two entrances to the playground along this bottom edge of East 106th Street. And then also in the kind of top right corner is a maintenance area with separate access from private 107th Drive. A few points looking at the site analysis. We have some, this pink dotted line is showing some general site circulation. The playground is understood as generally pretty hot and sunny, especially in the summer months with limited shade in the play areas. The interior asphalt pavement and also the surrounding concrete sidewalk are in pretty poor condition for various reasons and need to be replaced. And the playground currently doesn't have any security lighting within it. Okay, this is the tree inventory, which shows that the site has many nice mature trees around the edges, which will remain. There are several tree removals, which are indicated by these different colored X's. So there's 4 gray X's, which show trees that will be removed due to poor condition. The 2 orange X's are removals for design considerations. And then the 2 blue X's are kind of younger trees, which we're able to transplant to different areas of the playground site to open up the space. Okay, and now I'll quickly go through a number of site photos, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with the playground and how it looks. So first, this is looking from East 106th Street, the sidewalk and the playground entrance. Okay, this is the corner of East 106th Street and FDR Drive, this kind of very large open paved area with exterior seating. And then to the right is a view looking north along the FDR Drive service road that's right next to us. Here we're in the playground. There's some of the play equipment, the swings, and in the center, that single spray feature. And then beyond that, there's some really nice views towards Randall's Island and the footbridge. Here we have the existing park house with the public restrooms and offices and the kind of surrounding context. On the left are the handball courts. And then to the right is a nice shady area with some bench seating between the MPPA and basketball courts area, noting that the pavement in this area, there's a lot of cracking due to tree roots. Okay, on the left, we have another view of the large asphalt MPPA area, and then on the right, the existing basketball courts. Okay, this is another view of some play equipment, and then on the left is a maintenance storage area. And then here we have a separate vehicular access point at the kind of top north end of the site. And this relates to a future building construction project, which is why I'm pointing this out. Okay, so now we're getting to the exciting stuff. As I noted, we took all of your feedback from the community input meeting and also from a recent school meeting and kind of sifted through for some priorities for the design from that feedback. So these included the desire for more play, including swings, an exciting spray shower, and sensory play features. Less pavement, more green, more shade, to make sure there's a multi-generational seating areas. And also in the MPPA, improved active multi-use area, things such as the track with running, walking, multi-use sports, synthetic turf, pickleball, And then some feedback from the school included the desire for quiet sensory play, since this playground is also used by District 75, which has special needs students. Also to include a red accent color in the play equipment to enhance the sensory play experience, prioritizing soccer use, and considering other uses, in addition to seeing if we can look a bit more into synthetic turf as a softer surface option. The handball courts have been identified as generally underutilized, and there's an interest on both sides finding alternative use with seating opportunities. And then additionally, to provide and maintain a welcoming entrance, we removed some proposed bike racks at the entrance and instead have included some additional nice seating. And so with these priorities in mind, here we have the playground design. So I'm going to start by walking through the design plan, which we're looking at here, which is kind of like an aerial of the site, to give an overview of all of the various elements. And there's in future slides some additional kind of illustrative images and graphics which show the various play and seating areas in more detail to help understand them a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and start in this, hoping you can see the hand cursor, which is kind of in the lower right corner here. To provide a welcoming entrance, we've provided a kind of open, smooth entry with generous planting beds and new shade trees and understory trees to kind of buffer this corner. And just inside, there's a nice seating area with game table seating and some perimeter benches. As you follow this curvilinear pathway, which leads you through the playground, you'll see these kind of blue and different colored dotted pattern that follows along that as well. It's a fun, playful, painted pattern that provides more play opportunities as it leads you through the site. To the left of the pathway is a connected play area. This lower portion of the play area is the 5 to 12 play equipment. We have a central spray shower here, and then just to the left of that is a separate 2 to 5 play equipment piece, in addition to a little kind of quiet top play sensory area. And so the 2 to 5 area, we expanded into the existing handball courts. So that is a great opportunity. And then additionally, above that area, there's 2 new areas of swings for both older and younger children, and include universal swings. Okay, and so between the playground and the MPPA area along this central edge here, we're proposing to lower the fencing to a 4-foot height to provide better visibility between the areas. And also it gives the opportunity for some additional shade and understory trees. Moving into the kind of upper left corner is the asphalt MPPA area, which we've enhanced with color seal coat. This includes a perimeter track that goes around the edge here for walking and running. Within that is, you can see the painted blue soccer field use, which is prioritized, and then kind of like a nesting doll. Within that, we also have provided volleyball and pickleball court uses as well. Let's see, and I'll just note, since there was requests for synthetic turf, early on we investigated this as an option and really made a sincere effort to see if it could work. Since more recently, in the meeting with the school, the principal strongly advocated for this. We're going to kind of revisit and take another look at this as an option. Okay, and then also just to note around the kind of left and lower perimeter of this area, we've also included bench and table seating with some additional lighting and expanded the open planting area at the base of these trees to better suit the large roots that are in that area, and also have some nice flowering understory shrubs here for a softened edge. We'll also be updating the basketball courts, and that includes the perimeter chain link fencing. And then also noting the other side of the handball courts here next to that, we've removed that tall 16-foot fence between the basketball and handball to open up the space, are including several benches here for flexible seating, and have also included some fun painted games, which include both kind of like quiet play painted games and some more active options, and see this as a nice kind of cozy nook that's kind of out of the active use area that can be taken advantage both by the school and other groups within that area. Okay, so, and in general, we are adding security lighting throughout the playground, in addition to many, many new shade and understory trees. And I'll show you a little bit more about that in a few slides. There's a new drinking fountain with bottle filler in the MPPA area, and an additional bottle filler in the playground side. And I'll just note that the future building will, with the restrooms, will also include a year-round drinking fountain, which will be mounted to the building. And so we have the bottle filler kind of with that as a future item as well. And as you see, the existing park house and restrooms will remain when the playground opens, and they'll be able to stay open until this future building contract, until that construction starts. And so moving forward to this is a diagram showing the future architecture contract footprint, the dashed orange line on kind of the upper right side. And the key points of what this diagram shows includes the playground will be able to remain open when this future separate construction project happens, which is a huge plus. And also this upper access will be used for the construction. It's that existing maintenance access I pointed out earlier, and therefore there will be very minimal impact, if any, to the playground during that construction. And so once the playground opens, it's just full use, and you won't be limited in any way. Just briefly, this is an estimated timeline for these two construction projects. And so the top row is this playground contract, which shows we're expecting the construction for this project to begin about the summer of 2026, and it'll be over in about a year. There will be a bit of a gap between the two projects, and the bottom line you see here, we're expecting construction to begin in 2028, and that work will last for about 2 years. And so this, just as a note, the building design for the second line, the lower line, this will also be going through a similar kind of design review. And so in the future, you'll see more about that project. And also just noting that, again, leading up to, the entirety of this project, the playground will be able to remain open. Okay, briefly, I'll just note, this is the existing playground fence diagram. Just a couple of things here. The playground on the right is surrounded by a 7-foot steel fence, and the MPPA area on the left has a 16-foot chain link fence perimeter around it. Okay, and so then the perimeter, or the proposed fence diagram shows that we're proposing to lower the perimeter fence to a 4-foot height around this lower right corner of the playground where the entry is. And this enhances safety through better sight lines and also takes advantage of those really nice views to the east for Randall's Island. We have a 3 to 4 foot steel fence around the play areas with gated entry into them for safety reasons. The fence between the MPPA and playground areas, I noted this yellow line, is a 4-foot height, which provides a better visual connection between the two play areas. And additionally, there's 2 gated entrances for vehicular access, and then a smaller gate which just provides more direct access between the play equipment and the MPPA area. Okay, and so here we have a rendered sketch of the play equipment and spray shower area. You can see this nice planted edge which buffers the play from the walkway. And we have some nice play panels around this expanded tree bed area. A lot of nice bench seating around the play areas to provide for caretakers. Here we're looking at 2 views of the 5 to 12 play equipment. This includes ramping to the various platform decks and also to a 4-foot slide on the lower level. There are various climbing opportunities to the upper level of the play and this fun kind of spiral slide. We're using kind of bright, vibrant colors. And have also, as part of the request for the school, we've included this paprika color, which gives a really nice kind of like red accent color. And additionally, there's various sensory play panel options, and along the walkways, you can see these, oops, sorry, how do I go back? These spinning orbs, which as you walk or run along the ramps, you can kind of spin them with your hands, and it's a fun sensory element that kids really enjoy. Okay, next we have the 2 to 5 play equipment area, which also has that ramping to the various platforms, and additionally a slide at the end. Some kind of similar but different sensory elements. You have the play panels that are integrated into the equipment. Similarly, those spinning elements along the railings. We have a cozy dome, which is really great for a quieter sensory experience. And this is showing that playhouse in the top play area. Okay, and also looking at some of the play elements in a little bit more detail. At the top here, we have painted games that are included in the other side of the handball court area. Here's a little blow up showing that. And so some of these, like Mirror Me, is a nice quiet game activity, and some kind of agility and group activities. On the lower portion show examples of some of the sensory play elements, including play panels, and then kind of a close-up of a photo of the walkway with those spinning spheres. This is a view, a rendered view in the 2 to 5 area on the play side, we're proposing a painted mural on the handball wall, including it as a fun and simple design to kind of brighten up and give a nice backdrop to the space. Okay, and so here we're looking at the close-up of the spray shower area. So this includes 2 different spray zones with various experiences to be fun and engaging for everyone. On the right are more gentle ground spray water features for quieter play. And then to the left, you'll see tall grasses that spray water in streams so you can run through for a more active play. There's 2 buttons that you can push each of these bollards, which activate different water spray elements. And we've also included accent color within the spray shower to provide some warmth and just make it a really fun and engaging space. Okay, here we have some standard site furnishings. These are the game tables with chairs for the seating area near the entrance. World's Fair benches are located throughout the playground. The MPPA seating includes these nice steel tables showing the bottle fillers and the drinking fountain. These enclosed trash receptacles are located throughout the site, and also trash enclosures on the sidewalk. And then the park lighting, which is also located throughout. Okay, here we have a material palette. In the top left is the safety surface, the rubber tiles for the play equipment area. And then concrete, and this is that accent color for the spray shower area. And then we have the asphalt color seal coat colors, which is that kind of fun, playful pattern that follows along the pathway and is used in the MPPA area. And then again, those play equipment colors. Okay, and so this is showing the planting plan, which is to highlight the expanded tree bed areas, additional kind of shrub planting, and also all of those wonderful trees that we're adding, which includes 17 flowering understory trees and an additional 12 shade trees throughout. Okay, and showing some of those planting options. On the upper left, the canopy and flowering understory trees. And then we've also included evergreen and various seasonal flowering shrubs to have a really nice effect in the playground areas. Okay, here's a rendered sketch of the entry and seating area from 106th Street. Again, showing those really nice, generous planting bed areas. And you can see the game tables that are located in the perimeter bench seating. And then here we have an existing view looking north from 106th Street with the playground entrance. And then this is the proposed view showing the entry with the lowered perimeter fence and a nice open and welcoming entrance with all those really nice trees and plants. And you can see the seating area from there. Okay, the sustainability analysis, because we're opening up some of the tree beds and have all this nice new planting, we were able to increase the site permeability by about twice as much, a little bit more, which is really great. And it also helps to benefit the health of all those nice existing mature trees. Okay, and so I'm just going to land us back on the schematic design plan. And I'm happy to, I guess, turn it back over to Steve maybe to help field any questions or comments. And I thank everyone for your time tonight.
Steve, are you taking over?
Well, briefly, I can't really preempt you, but I just want to thank Rebecca for all of her work and everything that she put into this design, and we're open to hear any questions or comments that you may have.
Yes, thank you so much. The first question is from Mr. Sugar.
Good evening, I think that was fantastic. So this is a park and recreation facility, with these athletic facilities, I see that. I can't say emphasis on safety lighting, but I didn't hear anything about sports lighting for those fields. Has it been projected that these fields are going to be recreational, not competitive? I don't see anything for seating for spectators. Has that been omitted?
Well, well, Russell, I don't think we see this um, as being comparable at all to what we have at Abe Lincoln. It's not going to be. It's going to continue to have the current use, with the school primarily, I think, using the basketball courts, especially during the school day. And I don't think it's going to be a location where there'd be a tournament or a particular need for seating. I don't know, Rebecca, but I don't remember this coming up before.
What I'm alluding
sorry.
to, if I can, sorry for being dominant, is not a matter of seating for large crowds, but seating in general. If this looks fantastic and it's going to be a magnet for people who are just recreational.
Yeah.
And if it's recreational, so that would be standing room only, as we see. So we talked about it could be seating just for seats, lighting for. If it's safety lighting, we know when it gets dark at 7 o'clock. It gets darker earlier. It's darker earlier when it's cloudy. That means recreational players will now be challenged with what they can see. And if it's a park, like say, what is it, 10 o'clock? We have to get out of the park.
Well, but generally, during the spring and summer hours, the official closing time is 9 o'clock.
Okay, but I'm saying this is fantastic, and I know it's going to be attractive to
Yeah.
those that play sports.
Right.
And because of the scarcity of quality courts that way that aren't taking over, like a Abe Lincoln, where we have the summer tournaments, where the park is really fantastic looking, but it has limited access to the general participant. This is centrally located on the east side,
Right.
where there are not other parks like that. And that's
Well, I think you make a pretty good point. And I think we should take that back, Rebecca, and think that over. Certainly, I think we probably could use some seating there, but there's looks as though there's room for it. So, and we should consider the possibility of the lighting.
Yeah, absolutely. We can take a look at that. And yeah, I think you're right, Steve. That maybe didn't come up in earlier meetings, but we're happy to take another look at it.
Yeah, well, Russell has got has got a good viewpoint because based on his experience. So we should think about this.
Yeah, 1 second. Oh, sorry. So I have a couple of questions. I saw that there were some like drawings on the floor, and I know some of the population in that specific school, because I am the liaison community education council. Um, some of them must also speak Spanish. Is it possible that there could be like translation in there where it says jump, saltar, and stuff like that? Is that something that maybe you guys can take back and see what can be done? I did like, but I am more of a very bright color person. Uh, are the colors already set? Are these colors that the school pick, or maybe lavender can be added to it? Right, right, because my daughter's autistic. That's why. We're speaking about District 75 students, which I am very knowledgeable of and support. Um, I saw also the mention of high tide that maybe affected in the future. How far are we speaking of? 10 years, 20 years, and what can happen? That was like a little trigger for me. When you mentioned the water showers, is that like sprinkles or like showers? I did have a question about that too.
Okay, let me see if I can go through each of these questions. And so the last one, is that asking about the, when you say spray, I'll start with the last one. I think spray shower, I was talking about that fun water feature that we were looking at before that has the various different spray play elements. And then am I correct? Is that what you were asking about?
Yes, yes.
Not
Okay.
bathing.
Okay.
You're not talking about bathing.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Is it like shower? Because shower for me is where you shower. So that's what I'm like. Do you mean maybe sprinkles?
Yeah, that's right. And so let me clarify. It's not meant to be a shower. It's meant to be kind of a play water feature. And so these are things that kids can have like a water like sensory experience, and it's hot in the summer, they can run through and just kind of have some fun in it like that.
Got it. Yeah, because I know, like me, there's a lot of people that may have the same question because I do speak Spanish, and that's how it translates to me.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
sure all the people are also thinking the same thing. But thank you.
Okay, sure. So maybe something different than spray shower would be more clear, like water play feature.
Or so some people,
Yeah.
some people I think refer,
Yeah.
some people I think refer to it as a splash pad. I think that's a term I've heard.
Okay.
We call it sprinklers.
Sprinklers, yeah. People have used that term too.
Okay. Let's see. And then regarding the question of some of these colors that are shown for the painted games, if there's any specific colors that you would like to have there, it's not set in stone, and we can absolutely accommodate some of the color preferences. I think these are shown as kind of generally primary colors, but if there's a different palette that's of interest, can give us some feedback, and we're happy to accommodate. And then that last question about the future high tides, so that's for 2080. And so I guess it's a ways from now. It's just something to keep in mind, but I guess that's 80, or no, wait, let me do the math real quick, like 50 plus years away. Still something to keep in mind.
But by that time, we'll probably be coming back to you with another plan to redesign the playground.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
I'm gonna pass it to another not a committee member, another member.
Alright, hi, my name is Asher Rodriguez. I'm the chair of the Youth and Education Committee. First off, would like to invite you to maybe come in February to discuss like the interactions you have with the school, how the school just would like, this is not the space really for me to get into that so much, so I would appreciate you come in, present to our committee. I have a couple questions. I'm gonna make them short. So with your interactions with the school, you said the school leadership. Was there any interactions with the parents? Because a lot of the kids I know from that school live in the area and they will be using be using the playground on the weekends and stuff, so I think that their input is important. Regarding the sensory aspects of it, just from my knowledge, bright colors and a lot of colors can cause sensory overload in certain children. So I would say before you finalize the colors, do a little bit more research into, I don't remember at the top of my head what specific colors are good for sensory play. I suggest you look into that. And just for the future, a lot of the children in our community do have asthma. So while the construction is going on in for the playground, but also for the future space that while the playground reopens and there will be more construction, for you to look into how that's going to affect the students, and also maybe even if it takes a little longer, I think people would appreciate there not really being construction going on while the playground's in use or while the school's in session, because a lot of smoke and dust from that could trigger a lot of students' asthma or cause them to develop asthma later on. So I know that's a lot, but yeah.
Okay, great, thanks. Yeah, that's all important feedback. I know for the dust concern, oftentimes, especially if it's next to a school use, we will during construction install like a tall dust screen to help mitigate that. And I know there's some other things that we can also do to try to help reduce that. And I think um, as we get further into that, we can certainly talk more about those concerns and try to reduce that as an issue as much as possible. Yeah, with the sensory play elements and colors, we did try to just have some accent colors without too much to provide the experience, but also not have the overload you were talking about. But we'll certainly continue to revisit that with the play equipment manufacturer that we're working with. They're really amazing and understanding a lot of the intricacies and those kind of things. Um, and then the question about interactions with parents, I think at the community meeting, I think there was a few neighborhood parents that were present and gave a bit of feedback. In terms of the school leadership, we met with the principal and Steve, if you can correct me, I think a few like a facilities person and a few other staff members at the school.
Yeah, yeah, it was also the assistant principal and the parent coordinator.
Okay.
But I think that you should contact the school and see if those meetings can become open to the parents, because parents, I think that the best way you're gonna get to parents in the neighborhood is through the school.
Mm.
And I also, back on the sensory play, I don't think you should just necessarily consult the manufacturer. I think that you should consult professionals who are familiar with working with that population, because they will be able to give you the straight up answers about how it should be designed. And
Well,
I don't think it's a matter of accents or stuff like that. There's specific like colors. When people make sensory gyms in like occupational therapy spaces, there's certain colors they use, and they consult the school and professionals about that. Might be me being a little nitpicky, but however, there is a D75 program in that school.
Mm.
And D75, people think it's a lot of just neurological like disabilities, but there are also kids with seizures, kids in wheelchairs. So there's a lot of aspects that I think that you can't just consult a playground manufacturer. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, whoever is easiest for them to tell you. So you need to consult like.
Okay, I hear you, and I agree that we still need to. This was just recent that we got the feedback about the sensory colors, and so I wanted to kind of represent that it's something that we're taking into consideration. But I agree that we certainly have a little bit more work to look into how to do that in a meaningful way, and so we'll certainly take some more time for that. I promise.
Will the bathroom be accessible?
Thank
That's
you.
my last question. Sorry. Will the bathroom be accessible? That's my last little comment.
So as part of our project, I actually should have mentioned, we are regrading. So you'll have a flush entry into the restrooms. As part of the future building contract, that new building will be accessible. And so we're not able to do all of the, modifications to the building in this contract, but yeah, that's part of needing the new building is for accessibility.
Alright.
Sammy, you had a question?
Okay, the playground equipment is made out of what material?
Yeah, sure. So the structure of the play equipment is a coated, like a painted steel. And then there are some uh, like hard, rigid, like plastic elements. Here I can go to maybe one of the graphics. But so it's this is kind of one of the top play manufacturers. It's you see their equipment all over the city. It's really high quality, durable, kind of made to last materials. And so like the railings, um, and a lot of the posts and a lot of the elements are made out of like a painted steel. And then some of the kind of non-structural elements like the play panels can be a type of a rigid plastic, that kind of thing. But, yeah.
Michelle. Hello, this is Michelle with the Climate. Asking a question, a few questions. One, I noticed that there was a car parked in the area on the ground. I was just wondering why that car was parked there. Another thing was, synthetic turf can be toxic. Is there a synthetic turf that is non-toxic, that does not have the little peels of the tires that can come onto it? And where would the synthetic turf be placed? Would it be placed next to where the 5 through 12s are playing? Or would it be with the older population? And will there be enough padding be put underneath that turf? So there must be different grades of synthetic turf. And so I want to make sure that it is one of the higher grades that would not be setting off fumes and decomposing in a quick way. Another thing is that the fountain, the sprinkler feature, I did not notice that there was any design that was placed on the ground area, which it seems like there's in Seabody Park, there was a beautiful like a map of the world. A lot of things can be done on the ground besides the painted objects that you have there. And I just wanted to, that is like a missing element that could be definitely used. Also, I wanted to know if there is going to be a theme for this park. A lot of parents like going to different parks just to see the theme and just to have some sort of flavor. And East Harlem is rich with culture. Can there be some sort of general theme interlaced within this park? I think I'll want to go further.
Okay, let me see if it's okay. I'll try to answer a few of those. I think, Steve, I might let you speak to the car parking. Oh, sorry. Did I miss hearing something?
No.
Okay, sorry. It's a little muffled from the background. So I guess starting with the synthetic turf, I think we would be very careful about what kind of synthetic turf we would use, and the material selection is kind of one of the considerations. So that would be located in the MPPA area. If you can see the hand, it would essentially be in place where it would be synthetic turf within like the soccer field area. So it would be kind of a sports turf that, you know, I guess can also be used for other activities.
But Rebecca,
Yeah.
can I just make it clear that right
Mm.
now, synthetic turf is not part of the project.
Right.
We have yet to determine whether that's something that's feasible to do. The principal, we took a look at it originally at the beginning of our design process. We ruled it out, but the principal has asked us to reconsider and to install the synthetic turf. So we've agreed to take another look at it. But at the moment, it is not part of the project. But and let me also say that if we were to use synthetic turf, we do not use anything that is toxic. There are no elements. There's a component that uh, called PFAS, which has previously been used in synthetic turf, which has now been determined not to be good. We make sure that it's no longer in part of any synthetic turf that we install. And our manufacturers have stopped using it. But there's nothing in the synthetic turf that we use nowadays that is considered toxic.
Okay, thanks for that clarification, Steve. Let's see. And then the question about a theme for the playground. I know typically we try not to have an overt theme, but I think some of the elements in the design, the painted elements on the ground, in addition to the mural on the handball wall, uh, and the painted games, was a bit of a nod to some of the culture for mural art in the neighborhood. I think I had seen that the museum nearby had a really great exhibition of one of the like local mural artists. And we thought having these kind of fun painted elements that kind of wound through and took you through the playground was a way of kind of, you know, speaking to that as a character in the neighborhood and to bring some color and life into the playground. Let's see, did I miss any of the questions?
The sprinkler, the fountain, on the ground, there is a place where an element can also be placed.
Okay, right. You mentioned about maybe like a painted element or something with more color.
It didn't just have to be colors, it could be just a design, because the actual water would play with the design that is on the ground as the children are running about. But that is a place where it's a learning opportunity that is missed.
Yeah,
For
that
example, Body Park has a picture of the world underneath that, the sprinkler element. In lower Manhattan, in the South Street Seaport, there is a themed park where it is based on on water elements. And so that is what I want to find out. There's a missed opportunity with that sprinkler. It's a pretty large space, and our children would love to have something that they can keep growing with.
I think that's an interesting idea. We should maybe give that some thought. You know, maybe there's something we can do.
yeah, we can take a look at it.
I'm sorry, Miss. Could you tell me again which is the playground that has the map of the world?
Playground on East 96 Street on the south side of
Gosh, but Rebecca, can you hear her?
It's a little bit muffled. It's hard to hear. Maybe the mic isn't quite close enough.
C body on 96.
Ah, there we go. Thank you. C body on 95th.
Oh, Seabury on East 96 in Lexington.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, C. Berry. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's South Street Seaport, right? And also the South Street Seaport.
No, well, I don't see that one.
South Street Seaboard had more of a theme. I was talking about themes when I was connecting with the South Street Seaboard.
Well, the South Street, you're talking about the Imagination Playground
Yes.
at South Street?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a completely different concept in which the entire playground was built within what's supposed to be a ship. It had- you know, um, yeah, that's something. That's a different type of thing, and it certainly doesn't have all of the types of facilities that we're going to have in this particular playground.
I was just giving two completely different examples.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Steve. Another committee member that had a question. Connie?
Hi, Steve. It's Connie Lee. I recently spent a lot of quality black and white playgrounds, and that is really a magnificent park for young people who are not so young. They're 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. 2 o'clock in the afternoon till it gets dark. They're there every single day. I think the success of that, these are really young, bright, creative people who really need a place to just go and be and gather and hang out. And I'm looking at those basketball courts with, no seating on either side. And this goes back to what Russell was saying. I think we need to accommodate this really large group of playground users. They're not small children, they're older. They need just places to sit. They need places to just hang out and be. They gather around basketball courts in very large numbers. So I'd like you to just take them into consideration, particularly around the basketball courts. And it looks like there's space on both sides of the courts. And there's a space down the center as well.
And
Yeah, apologies. I just had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I had to just reopen the presentation. I can flip back to that. Let's see, can everyone see the
Yes.
presentation again? Okay, sorry about that. I think there was a brief glitch in the program. And one more time, what would you like me to zoom into?
I don't even think you need to zoom. It's quite clear on the screen. You have two
Okay.
basketball courts.
Okay,
Correct?
yeah, that's right. 2 basketball courts.
Two basketball courts, you have space on the east side of the courts and on the west side of the courts and even down the middle, but there's no seating.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball
Yeah.
courts are where people gather.
Yeah. Well, this
They sit down, they jump in and out of games, they
Right.
sit and talk, friends gather.
All right.
They need to just be.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think this is also what Russell was bringing out. So yeah, I think I think we're gonna go back. I think and add the seating.
Great. Thank you.
We have another committee member that has, I believe, a couple of questions. Malik?
Hello. Thank you for the presentation. This is Malik McCullough. I have a few questions. One, you mentioned the equipment. You mentioned the volleyball and pickleball area. I wanted to know, will equipment be provided for those particular sports for the school to have, or to possibly be there? Like, how would that work as far as the volleyball and pickleball is concerned? There's no need to have the lines if they're not going to have the equipment to do the actual sport.
Well, I mean, Yeah, I say we found our experience has been that there's been no problem with the pickleball players showing up with the paddles and the pickleball. They come, they seem to come fully equipped. They're you know they're so intent on playing that they have the equipment. The volleyball, that's a good question. We should we're probably going to need to provide the nets.
I'm subbing in for Malik, Russell Shoe speaking. The pickleball players that come with their own equipment are older. They're not expecting any handouts. They come equipped. What about when we talk about intergenerational activity, passing it on for a younger generation to be
Oh, I
hands-on?
see. All right, that's a good question. Um, yeah, we'll have to take a look at that.
Okay.
But I tell you, the principal made a particular point of saying that the kids are really going to want to play soccer. Uh, uh, she uh, she sort of poo-pooed the idea that they would want to play pickleball. So, but there has been an effort to try to get kids involved with pickleball. So I don't want to discount. Maybe we shouldn't discount that completely. But you raised a good question.
So also you mentioned the trees. Um, I don't know if you mentioned this, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. As far as we had a lack of trees there, now in the new with the new playground, will it be adequate trees to reduce the heat and create more shade? That's what I wanted to ask, especially on the equipment.
Yes.
If
Uh,
it's too hot, you know, the kids probably can't even, use the actual equipment as well.
yeah. Well, I think this is one of the one of the again one of the positive aspects of this plan is that we are adding a significant number of trees. Maybe we didn't make that point clear enough. Rebecca, do you have the number of additional trees?
Uh, oh yeah, sure. So it was 12 new shade trees and uh, 18 understory trees. And to help answer your question, I'll just point out on the plan. So we have this is that 5 to 12 play equipment. And so in addition to uh, a couple of new trees on this kind of right edge of the play equipment, there's an existing oak tree here on the bottom edge near the sidewalk. We're transplanting another one of the existing kind of younger trees. These are both going to grow to be tall shade trees. So you essentially will have some nice shade kind of along the bottom and well, 3 out of the 4 edges, which will give a lot of nice shade as they grow, um, throughout the day. Um, and then for the younger kids play area, it's actually underneath a couple of existing really nice mature trees. So I believe this one, which is kind of in the lower right corner of that play area, gives a lot of nice shade already. And so I think especially the younger kids area will have kind of some immediate shade. I guess you'll also get some shade from the handball wall here, which is just behind it and pretty tall. But so we did try to prioritize putting shade trees below any of the swings or play equipment areas because that's, the direction that the sun kind of casts the most heat during the daytime. And so as the trees grow, you'll get some really nice full shade, which you're not getting, especially in the play equipment areas right now. And the same thing with these trees that are kind of between the MPPA and some of the swings area. This was an area that is just kind of open and blazing hot. And so adding some more nice, what will be nice large shade trees for that area.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
I see, I'm assuming that they're gonna have the same access as far as schools and the public is gonna have this, same, not just access, but, well, access to the space, and playgrounds. But there was I believe there was a third access point on 106. And it was, I see it's only two now. In the painted area, just for safety concerns, would you consider having an access point right there, obviously gated for the schooling, just because it seems like it's so far from any other access point or to exit? Um, on 106.
Okay, so you're talking about some sort of access kind of from like this area here,
Yeah, because
so that you don't have to walk kind of all the way in to get there?
or leave if there's any emergency that happens, they don't have to walk so far. Because there is a gate or something around that, right? Or a high point, or can they hop over that fence, or is it low enough? I don't know, to get to the one closer to FDR Drive.
Okay, I think if there was an emergency, anyone who's in this area would go kind of to the left and exit out this right here, which is what I guess a handball user or someone in this area would do currently. To my knowledge, there's only two entrances that are existing along East 106th Street. And then there's also the kind of separate entrance to that corridor that's next to the school. I don't know if there used to be an entrance that's no longer there, but I didn't see an extra one. There used to be an entrance kind of here. That's where the existing one is, and we've shifted that. But beyond that,
Could I interject? This is Russell Schuler. Let's just talk about the times we're living in. As of late, it might not be too positive. If this facility, which I said in the beginning was excellent, and let's just say maximum use, because it's so doggone attractive. Multiple populations, from young recreational players to the younger people in the other areas, in the middle of the time period where everybody comes to the park at the same time, maximum use your calculations on if it's, you have a pickleball, the soccer with a track around it. That means at any given day, maximum use, we have an unlimited amount of people running around that track, collectively and independently, multiple ages. We have the basketball court the same way, the young people area, the kitty kid area. Something happened, we all run into two exits. I don't, even if it's just a thunderstorm, and everybody trying to get out. And then we talking about protecting it because it's a public facility, or how many entrance exits we have that has to be locked and keyed. Someone mentioned the gates. How tall are they? Are they like at Lincoln where they are, 3 feet tall, 4 feet, where they can hop over it? Or
yeah, sure. Well, so the fences and the gates that are around these like the basketball courts in this area, those are 16-foot tall fences and gates. There is this center one, so in theory, between the MPPA and the playground area, that's a 4-foot fence and gate, and so it's lower. And so I guess in your scenario, any safety concerns, I guess one could, in theory, get over it one way or the other. I mean, it sounds like maybe I can't say that it is actually possible given the conditions, but for example, there's this tree here near the handball courts. And I'm not sure if it's possible, but we could look at, is it possible to just have like a small, portal opening there as an additional option to exit out of the space, if that's kind of what you're asking for.
But that
Yes.
would need a gate so that it could be closed for this during the school hours.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have to be something that could be closed by the school.
Sure, but something that's available, that's all.
Okay, sure thing.
I got one more question and then no, I got, no, I got. No, I got, we already here. What we stopping now for? So, it says the area closed, M&O storage, future construction.
Mm.
Right. That whole area is for exactly what?
Yeah, sure. And you're right. I didn't actually speak to that too specifically. Looking at this slide and then this one, essentially, we have this area which is in the interim when the playground is finished. It will be used for maintenance and operations use. I guess they have some like parks vehicles and other kind of storage materials as a temporary use until the future building project occurs. And then you'll have kind of this footprint, which is under construction. And there's going to be the new building, which is a slightly larger footprint than the existing one. And then we don't have a design yet, but the kind of space around, I think there is going to be space for park specific vehicles and storage. In that area, there's going to be the building, and then yeah, and so that's why we have in the design for the playground, we've kind of reserved this area because we can't put something there for the playground and then take it away, a couple of years later when the building goes under construction. And so we were trying to, yeah.
And let me also say, storage is sort of a misnomer. It's not that we're going to. It's really a space where we keep equipment that's used for the regular maintenance of our parks in this area. It's not a place where we're just going to sock away a bunch of stuff and like a warehouse. This is a an active hub for our operations in the local community.
May I ask that we use, if we can use some of that space for, a workout space for the older, people, meaning, exercising and stuff like that, a small area in there?
Well, I tell you that area has yet to be designed. So we could we could take that up maybe when we do the well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if we can. We'll have to look into whether that's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm not trying to stop your area for the storage, but I just wanted to add a little value to that.
I just told you not to use the word storage.
Okay. All right, you got it. Okay, shed, your shed. Yeah.
There's no shed there either. Okay, very good.
Not yet. So my last point is not really a question.
What? I think I lost the
I can't hear anything.
No.
Hello?
Yeah, We were cut out. We didn't hear any. We didn't hear what the gentleman was saying.
This is still Malik McCullough. You hear me, Steve?
Yes,
Yes.
Did you hear him?
I could hear him. Yes.
We're asking about Richard Tucson Park, Malayan, Malik McCullough. And we've been waiting to rename the park for park and walkway, right? Pathway for a long time now.
Well,
And
but we're not. You know, I've made this point before that um, we're not going to do both, and we already did officially name the pathway, but you know that park is that property is still not within our control, so I can't really speak to what how it's going to be what name it might be given.
What I was saying is if you speak and he speaks, the people on YouTube cannot understand anything that we're saying. So let him speak, then he'll let you speak and vice versa.
so when will we find out about the name? Because we've been advocating for this park. We don't want it to be the pathway. We want it to be the park to be named Richard Tucson. And we want to do it before his wife is, you know, she's lived a long life right now while she's here.
Well, I mean, she had told me at some point a while ago that she was satisfied with having the pathway named for him, but apparently that's not satisfactory to the board.
No.
Sorry, I would like to, you know, I actually don't know. Okay, so I don't want us to say it's the whole committee.
No,
Because I know, but
that's the position that we have had
okay, but I don't
for
know.
years. I understand, but that, I'm just telling you,
So I
that's
wanna
the
get
position that
every,
we took. I mean, it's on record, it's there.
I understand that.
But because you don't know, doesn't mean that we did not do that. That's what I'm trying to make, that particular point.
Okay, it's a bit disrespectful when we're talking, you know, on top of each other. I hear you. Please let me just, you know, speak. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe if it's possible, I don't know that you know the wife can come here so we can also make a point. Maybe we can do a new resolution or a letter or something. Go ahead, Mr.
I think I was on I'm pulling rank now. I was a part of the committee, original committee with Richard Tucson doing the park. When he unfortunately left us, the committee and the board been fighting for the name of the park to supersede the pathway. Steve, you know, a part of this discussion over the years have been the process, which is the longer process. So we've been going back and forth, which process could actually happen first. Ms. Tucson, we all respect her wishes having something done. We as a board respect her wishes, and we want to see something permanently happening because we would rather have the park named after him if we waited out, as opposed to having the pathway named for him, and in the future, someone else names the park somebody else over the work of Richard Tucson, which was his original idea and movement over the years from being the multiple names it had when it was meant the Harlem Beach and all those other names that we have for it, as you recall. So that's what we're saying respectfully. So as the board, as the committee changes with new chairpersons, new members, things may be lost to history, but it's been documented. So I want to add some clarity to that, being a part of being at the table at the very beginning. I've spoken.
No, I understand, but I'm not gonna say something or, like my opinion on something that I do not know. I prefer to be educated on it. And thank you, because, I wasn't here many years ago.
What Malik McCullough was actually tabling is actually what action will be happening and how soon can it happen, because Ms. Tucson is still with us. For her to be satisfied, cherish that, that's what we're working towards.
Correct. And I wasn't saying, I wasn't saying that you personally, not that you didn't know, but I'm saying that the board has been taking position and has been here for the longest. And it's not, I understand you didn't know, but as a board and as a full board and as a committee, we have taken this position. Like as recently as last year. Yeah.
And there's an overlapping between the greenway and the subway. Yeah. So overlapping conversation.
Yes, thank you, Steve. What can we do about that?
I'm sorry, are you asking me?
Yes.
Well, again, I mean, we're not in a position to name a park that has yet to be built, and we have at this point no control over that property itself. I mean, there is a there is a project in the works. We've done design work. I'd have to double check on the status of the design and the timetable for construction. But the location between 125th and 132nd Streets is still not a Parks property, so it's not something that we can that we can legally name. And what we thought, what we did in consultation with the widow was to name the pathway a couple of years ago, but we never proceeded to install any signs or have any kind of ceremony because apparently the community board did not go along with that idea, even though the widow did.
So, I do see two hands raised. Miss Lacey has been holding her hair for a little while. I just want to acknowledge her. And then David, you can also take the floor after Miss Lacey.
Hi, everybody. This is Lacey. I just want to acknowledge that I was at that meeting that was at the end of June last summer. And so was a teacher that teaches at 146, Mr. Tom Nemec. And I just want to basically give them the recognition that a lot of the input that was spoken at that meeting, they did implement into the park and these plans. I just want to reassure the council. I want to reassure Ash that there were parents from the community that were there at that meeting, and a lot were implemented. Literally, the splash pads, which is he mentioned that term, and I'm the one that mentioned the last summer. I also mentioned how the ropes can be used for athletic purposes for all ages, and it really feels good to see that they implemented a lot of what we spoke about. I do agree with the fact that Ash, do follow up with another second meeting with the community, just as you did last June. I'm happy Ash asked that question about exactly what school team you met with. The principal does not live around here. Neither does the assistant principal. Neither does the PC. None of them live around here. So please follow up another meeting so that you can really most likely hear the praises of the community because it's a really nice park. Where I live at in East River, the playground that was right in front of my building, they just tore it down and removed the jungle gym, and now it's just a plain seating area. So that's going to attract certain people, and certain crowds. So the park, that the way that's being built, I can tell that is going to remain how it's going to be. If people want a hangout spot, Jefferson is just up the way. If people want a hangout spot, there's East River and there's Wilson. There's places where adults can really hang out at. The places for children to play and have recreational activities safe and sound is really decreasing around here. And I just want to commend Parks Department for listening to us and interjecting our ideas into the park. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for providing your input in the first place and for recognizing that we did take what you had to say seriously.
Thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate that. Good night. Thank you.
Hi, David Giordano. I'm a community board member, chaired youth and education, vice chair now with Asher. Been on parks forever. I do want to say this is a wonderful playground. It really looks exceptional. Rebecca, I think it's a really great job. Steve, it seems like you've been more accommodating with suggestions tonight than I've ever seen you with anything. So I kind of want to, we conferred when we did so my one question, pretty much everything's been answered, but another consideration is, we've been doing a lot of things with Sport Time USA in this community. And they recently did, I think Poor Richards, was it a year and a half ago, and put those little tennis courts.
Yes.
And then, maybe that's also another consideration because, one of the things we are trying to do is get more schools involved. I work at the PS 72 as well, and we're doing the tennis and we use the playground upstairs, but maybe there's a section in, one of those spaces on the basketball court where it could be for tennis as they do as well, just painted on the thing. And it could be something the school just to expand again some of the pickleball similar to tennis. But just a thought. But I wouldn't have said anything until both Malik and Russell mentioned it. Steve, in all fairness, I've been part of this committee, and Rose, I know you have not been part of this committee as long on the board, but this has been a real kind of sore taste in our mouth with the board members. I too served with Mr. Toussaint on the board in Parks and Recreation. And again, I think we have legendary people in this community that not only gave themselves, but gave themselves and their work to make it better for others. And I think that we should go ahead and name the path and go ahead, and we should continue to advocate that that park be part of that naming as well. And again, Steve, this is nothing personal against you. I understand the situation where we don't have the land. But then we maybe have to look at other recourses to how we make sure we get that land. Because, something said, and then we all disappear, some of us, and like Rose is the new chair, people have no history, right, of what was to happen or should have happened. And then we lose the recognition of somebody. And to just say his wife is accepting of this and not the other, I wouldn't, I think we need to follow up and bring it to fruition at this point. But the playground is great. Think about putting a little tennis lines in there for kids. And again, this is a really wonderful project. It's such an eyesore, that park, and this will transform that whole area along First Avenue on 6.
All right, thank you.
I know you don't know who I am, Steve, because you can't see me, but if you see me go, oh, I know that.
No, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I thought I've always been accommodating.
You are, Steve.
You really grew tonight, Steve. You really grew tonight.
We have one more question from committee member Michelle.
Hi, this is Michelle Worship Clemens. I just wanted to say, we are so excited about this, and that is why we have were just beaming with questions because we are excited. This is a beautiful rendition of all these ideas, and it could be so much better as well. And that's why there's so much excitement tonight. Thank you. Not a question.
Well, thank you for your comments, and I think this has been a great a dialogue that we've had, and you've given us some more ideas to ponder. I appreciate the chance to have this discussion with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve and Rebecca. Hopefully you guys can come back and let us know ahead of time so we can invite all the community members of the PS 146 school. And I already do know that you guys are requesting a letter of acknowledgement because you have the January 21, 2025 meeting. And that will be sent out. So it's just a letter of acknowledgement that they did present. It's not that we are agreeing with the proposal that they are okay, so if there is a motion from any of the committee members, and we can.
Malik, I motion that we give a letter of acknowledgement for the New York Public Design Commission. I mean, the review with the New York Public Design Commission, correct? Is that the correct? Am I correct? Yeah, that's what it's written.
And Russell,
Yeah, you could send the letter to us, and we would present it to the Public Design Commission.
Thank you so much. Is there any objection from any committee members?
No objection.
Okay, it goes through. Thank you so much, Steve and Rebecca. Hopefully we'll see you next time. And Shantine, I'm sorry, like you guys have.
Sorry. Just wanna write the letter so I can.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're writing it and giving it to you guys.
Right, Steve, you write in the letter, the format that you want, that you're gonna pass it on to us?
I'm sorry?
Are you gonna write the letter and pass it on to us?
Well, I could if that's what you would prefer.
Yes, we prefer that you draft
Okay.
the letter and send it to Merlene or Malik.
Okay.
So, thank you, Steve.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving the agenda along, the review logistics for the 2025 Earth Day Conference. Well, there's a hiccup. There is no school from the 14th to the 18th. The whole week there's midwinter, not midwinter, spring recess.
Spring break.
Recess, right? And I wanted to suggest, and obviously open to anybody else suggesting otherwise, Tuesday, April 22nd, is the actual Earth Day. Because I believe there's like a holiday on, there's something on Monday.
I think it might be Easter.
Yeah, sorry. Easter Monday is April 21st. So our next best day, if anything, is April 22nd, unless somebody else wants to suggest something else. And also the location. If I was speaking with Cynthia from El Museo del Barrio, and another Cynthia. That's really one of the words. And she suggested and volunteer the museum, and I said I will bring it to all the committee members so we can discuss the location, and we can set something else, save the date flyer already.
That's fine. I got a question for this Cynthia.
Let's move back to business.
No, it's a part of the business. I just
Oh,
want that.
the Earth Day?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Cynthia, I would like, if it's up, if everybody thinks is a good idea. If possibly we can have like the gardeners come for Earth Day to like set something up. I don't know what, but it just came to my mind like.
Well, we had a couple last.
Yeah.
Pleasant Village came and another.
Right, so Asher, myself, Michelle, Russell and David, we planned the Earth Day and we had like weekly meetings and we had a Pleasant Village and,
There was another garden that came back here.
yeah, I forgot.
Was it the one that was at the city of the museum?
Yeah.
They should all come.
Right,
But that's my point. My point is we have a liaison right here.
right.
And we can ask her to reach out to them, all of them, so that we can get possibly all of them to come, if she's possibly can reach out to them.
Yeah, I think, well, I can certainly, I mean, that's the thing, I'm like that liaison, so yeah, I can certainly pass on that invitation. And let them know the community board's interested in. I have, what's it?
Access to.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just, sometimes it's easier if you have the communication of people, you know, but, so yeah, I can certainly pass on that invitation, I think it would be helpful if, like, I could put it in an email, and like, put everyone together, but, also helpful, like, and have some sort of like information to provide, like, the expectation.
Right. Right, because right now we're discussing the location and the date in order to plan strategically, right, including the theme and everything, for Earth Day. So can we just, like, set the date and location, if it's okay with everyone? Can we do it at a museo?
I have something to bring up. That's around the time state testing is happening, so you need to make sure the schools are doing state testing during that week. That's one thing. Because it happens in April. I don't know if it's before
It
spring break
happens
or April.
It happens the first and second week of April and then in May.
And then in May, because that's something you need to think about. If you want to invite schools, they're not gonna wanna bring kids out too close to the state testing day. So that's maybe something you should communicate with Dr. Christie about. And also just while we're on the subject of like schools and gardens and inviting a little bit. I think it was great what we did last year. The schools were there, but I think it was a little too long for the schools. So I think we should have 2 separate parks. And maybe instead of every school presenting, do like a little sign up sheet for them to present. And they could like in advance say if they want to present or not, but there are some schools that were there that they came, but they didn't realize they were gonna present. If that makes sense, and they didn't want to, they just want to have their little table with their projects set up. So.
So when we ask in the schools, we should ask them if they want to present or not.
Yeah,
Got you.
cause I remember that was a little thing, and then also maybe if it's only a couple of hours the schools are there, we're less likely to have schools leave early. Cause I think the problem was it was a lot longer, and then by the end of the day, there was only like 2 schools left.
So we did have a communication with them with that regards, and there was time allocated to each school. Some schools just showed up and we were just accommodating them.
No, but what I'm saying is every school had a slot. Maybe it's just in advance, they sign up for a slot.
No, I think she's referring to just coming.
Oh, okay.
That they, you were saying that they was just coming at a different time slot.
They were
Not
supposed to
presenting.
come at a different time because one school needed to leave at 1 and another school needed to leave at 2, you know. And wait,
I think that's
one
fine.
second. Sorry, Mr. Shelley. So the state said, I do have the date, April 29th and 30th for 4th grade, April 29th and 30th for 5th grade. Oh, this is only ELA, and then May 1st and 2nd for 6th grade, May 1st and 2nd for 8th grade. So the math is all in May. We should be okay. April 22nd is open.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I would suggest that we come up with a process that we want all the schools to participate. And then we have another process that will identify X number to do presentations, so every school can be represented. And then it'll be agreed upon who knows who's gonna present.
She just said the same thing. You
I
were
didn't
saying
hear
that.
that, I didn't hear it that way.
In
I
our
heard
planning,
the confusion that people didn't want to present last year.
right? So in our planning, we had a whole agenda. Everyone was allocated, I believe, 15 minutes. Every single school had like 50 minutes to present about the light and then the aquatic with the clams and everything.
And I'm saying, yes, see, I'm hearing that, and I'm not trying to override her. She said, say that if it was said, I'm just saying, we would want everybody to participate.
That wants to. And that's what she's saying.
I'm talking about just being present, just being present. I'm just being there. We on display. Our school is here.
Yeah.
This is what we did in the project.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's saying the ones that wanted to present, that can go up and present, and then the
I'm not
ones
talking
that
about-
just.
I'm not talking about presenting. See, I'm trying to make it.
Okay.
But so this is what I'm saying. If we're saying the same thing, let me know. I want to see every school participate, just being in the engagement. And present. Now, who's gonna present? Actually demonstrating that, we come up with those, a few of them that.
Right.
Do that.
So, like I said,
Are we saying the same thing?
Yes, we are.
yes,
And I'm not.
like I
overriding
said, him,
Him.
like I said, there was a whole agenda with the run of show because I wrote it myself with Jessica. We gave whatever schools that told us at the time that they could present, each of them had the allocated time for them to present. It was very organized and everyone presented at the time that they were able to do, which I think went well.
What was the problem?
I
It was
don't
very
remember
long,
any.
and a lot of the people had to leave at different times. And so things got rearranged. The 22nd, yeah, it's the 22nd.
I was just thinking some schools. I think if we shorten it and then, let me rephrase what I was saying, shorten it and maybe shorten the number of presentations a little bit, like first come, first served basis, like everyone will have a table. But I'm saying like the presentations on the main stage, because it was too much, I felt bad for like the last groups where there's 2 people left. Where people, cause people are gonna leave after a while, even if you, I think if we kept all the presentations before lunch. But you know, everyone's gonna stay for the lunch, they hear free food, they're gonna stay for the food.
Right.
I say, keep it like that, like the morning, like maybe 9 to 12, lunch is at 12, you could get a lot of presentations in there if each person is limited to like 10, 15 minutes at most. It was too long going all the way to like 3 PM because you're gonna end up with maybe the last group, there's gonna be no, and some of the kids,
They were exhausted.
So what was our time frame last year, just to be?
I think it was like to 2.
It was until 2 o'clock, however,
For what time did it start? I'm talking about the presentation, pretty much. Not
we just had them started at 10.
10 because we were there at.
10 to 2 is a stretch.
It's a stretch, however, we had major mic problems. And so everybody had to move from one section, wherever they were, all the way to another section. And so it became a trudge, even though it wasn't a long distance, but they had to move all of their equipment and whatever they wanted to show, and that took the time.
Right.
So we should shorten it to how many hours?
I
Y'all,
would
everyone
say
think?
3 hours at most, and then afterwards, that time from like 1, like after lunch, let's say lunch is at
So
12,
10 to 1.
and it finishes. No, lunch is at,
9 to 1, maybe, no, because there's gonna be a lot of, like, if you inviting all the, community,
but
that's like
let me,
30.
I'm getting to that.
But you don't want everybody to.
I'm getting.
It's gonna be like also a table event, it's not just, 10% go, because then what is the point of that? It's gonna be resources.
Let them finish.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Phil.
I think you should tell the schools to get there at 9:30, so they have some time to set up and, get over there. Cause a lot of the schools, even the schools that start the latest, they'll still be able to get over there in time. 9:30 to 10 is them setting up the tables, okay? From 10 to 2, those 2 hours.
That's 4.
I'm sorry, 10 to 12, those 2 hours, we could do presentations. People sign up in advance to do a presentation. Depending on how many people we see want to do a presentation, we will determine how many minutes they get for a presentation. 12 to 1 lunch, okay? From 1 to maybe 2:30. While the kids, it could be like free time for people to walk around, the gardens can be there, that's like the more like free flowing type thing, and people can go around, because like I said, Subway is not like people are leaving in the middle of people presenting, but like tabling, like just walking around type thing. Can be, because a lot of the gardens didn't want to present, like, I remember when Kim came, she was just doing a little project at the table. So, yeah.
I'm guessing that the schools should present in the morning because some of them cannot stay until 2 because they're a little farther away, you know, and
Yeah, that's
we
what
have
she, that's what
schools.
she said from.
My
I mean,
friend,
So
that
12.
we have schools in like 120, I mean, we invited District 4 schools, and that actually
Yeah.
does include charter schools, which is District 5 schools, we also cover District 5 schools. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
I'm suggesting. Because I've done things like this, I believe we should say between the time he's saying, we're gonna have 4 presenters. Period. They're gonna be allocated X amount of time. Who wants to be able to do that within the time? Then we have somebody that's acknowledging everybody that participated. This school did what? This one did, this knowing that they were there. I have somebody narrate that, who participated, and these are the 4 presenters for this fair. And just give a time slot for them to do it. So it could be adequately done. At the same time, people who have to leave because of their schedule, they can leave as they choose. They will acknowledge that they were here, they participated, which means their students participated in the activity that made them a part of the activity.
I'm not saying last year was horrible or anything, just wanted that. I think it was great, including the schools, but I think we have to acknowledge that as someone who works in the school, these kids do not have the attention span to sit through 5 hours of. Cause their brain is gonna be turned off, they see it at the school trip, they're out of school. If you wanna get to yeah, like they're not gonna, and a lot of the schools, they end up bringing, I notice. A lot of the elementary schools, because it's around testing time, it's like the younger kids who don't have tests, like, we saw some of the schools bringing 2nd graders and stuff.
Right, I know PS 171, they brought
2nd graders, 72, yeah.
2nd graders.
I thought there was some kindergarten right there at one time.
Yeah.
So are we allocating time from 9:30 to 1:30 PM?
No,
9:30 to
you said
12.
9:30 is setup. So you said 9 to 10.
I think nine
9 to
should be.
10, 9.
9 should be, because I'm guessing it's not just schools presenting, right? It's also other people like, Randall Island, that,
Whoever,
you know what I mean? So we're gonna have a lot more, people that are coming to speak regarding environmental justice and inequalities and pollution and whatever, you know, the subject that we have obviously.
But if we're letting those like people present during the time the kids are there, you gotta tell them it has to be like a kid-friendly activity. Maybe it could be like, hey, come over to the Randall's Island table and see like a demonstration on, I remember they brought worms. Be like, come see a demonstration on worms. I'm saying like, I'm saying I said this last year also, you already know. We gotta be very specific, because if not, we're gonna have the person presenting on, a oil well project, or if that's random, but you know what I mean, like an oil well project, and then the kids are gonna be looking like, be for real, like.
No, but they did, you know what, one of the children started eating the pear or an apple, and then they put it on the compost, and so how the worms were eating it off. All the worms got in there, and they pulled the apple out, and they were like, wow, you know, so it's like an amazing experience for the kids that actually don't see compost, and maybe it encourages them to actually do compost.
I think overall, we're doing well. I just think it's just like a couple of things that Asher just wanna tweak a little bit. And I don't think we should.
Yeah, we don't have to discuss it all today.
Yeah, we don't have to
Sorry,
tweak
yeah.
away from our formula.
I like.
What he was just saying was this, as far as time is concerned,
Yeah,
to bring it down and to keep up the kids' attention span. That's pretty much what we need to focus on while we're preparing. as far as what you were saying, Rosa, I think the 22nd is pretty fine, the Tuesday with everybody,
Yes.
Yeah.
pretty much.
I work during the.
Yeah.
You guys. I like the garden group, what I would do is just work.
Whoever's available.
And thank goodness it's in April, right? It's okay. Thank goodness it's in April that the gardens do actually open in April.
It's Earth, yeah, they're open for the season, it's Earth Month, but I'm just saying like also because they're all volunteers, they might have.
Yeah, but you're also saying you're trying to build groups for these gardens. This is the way you build a group in a garden.
Right.
And the gardens have a responsibility to the general public because they're on public property, free of charge. And they have an obligation to the neighborhood to show up.
However,
Yeah,
they're
it
all
doesn't
volunteers.
just us show, it doesn't just work for community boards and other groups to support the gardens, they have to support the young people, they have to support.
Imagine if they bring eggs and bring them.
And I
You can do it, you can do it Easter egg hunt too. That day.
Your genius.
I will say, we have to be a little
But
bit
having
careful
done
though. with
several
the
of them, they
schools.
get insane.
They're gonna get insane, but we'll have the plastic ones. I got some in my house already, that we can allocate, if not,
I'm gonna say it all.
oh, you have.
And, okay, the location, are we in
I think it's the
favor?
same spot, right?
No,
Or you wanna go?
no, she was saying El Museo, but my question is, if we were to do
I'm sorry, I didn't.
El Museo, would it be the patio also?
The outside and the
Outside,
inside, each, and the same thing,
So be
if
more space.
anyone wants to view any art, someone will be there to help them and guide them. And
Okay.
also outside.
El Museo has
So,
security, do the kids have to go through security every time they have to use the
No.
bathroom?
So
No,
we'll be in that area for El Museo and then the side entrance for
the front, what do you call it,
Oh,
balcony?
Patio.
Patio.
the front patio and the inside would be the particular, we would be having. Well, no, we don't have so many meetings there.
No, if anyone is interested in
Yeah.
any arts or anything like that, they will be a
No.
guided tour.
But we have meetings in there.
Absolutely. I think it's.
Okay.
So are we agreeing to El Museo del Barrio?
Sure.
Anyone in opposition?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not on this committee.
Oh, I
Oh, wait, now, yeah. Oh, they're a bigger,
Front.
And
The front
the
area.
technology also, because I was recently there for the Three Kings Day and it was truly amazing.
And if we have the English space also, it will be,
Eh?
it will be a lot more space.
With all of them.
It's right next door. It's literally like.
It's across the street,
Yeah.
it's adjacent.
And we work together, so.
We can put that board meetings there.
Okay, so we're gonna,
22nd.
yes.
So it's-
But did we all vote on this 22nd?
No, you said, is anyone opposed, and then no one.
No one responded.
Exactly, so everyone is in agreement, yay.
Answer your questions.
So,
So we locked in the time or the date and.
right, the date and the location. I
I
don't
think
know
the
about
time,
that,
y'all
that
gonna have to
one.
figure that out. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, because last year we started at 10 and we thought it was a little bit too, like late-ish. Because kids do start school at 8:30. So they leave their stuff or whatever, and they're able to,
It gives people time to get and to
like, by
10,
9:30.
no, 10 o'clock gives people time.
He
other
just say 9:30 to 10 to set up, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Wasn't that what you suggested?
Yeah, but he just does that for the kids.
Right.
So we have to
But
get.
people still got, we gotta still get the call.
We're not gonna show
For
up
other
on
people,
time to
no, I'm
set up.
saying, but other people would have to get their time, it don't take 30 minutes to set up some of these people. So you wanna give a time frame to say 9 to 10 is setup time. You know what I'm saying? 10 o'clock we start, 9 setup time.
Okay,
You can leave 9:30 for the children, but you can tell other people
We have to be there at 9. Latest,
late.
okay,
latest.
so event will start at 10 AM.
10 AM, sure. I think that's a comfortable time.
It would start at 10, but the
Is that
setup.
the name of the event?
East Harlem Earth Day Conference.
Yeah.
So, are we like doing a theme because I know, this year specifically is like the 55th year. Wait, I wrote it down.
There is a theme for Earth Day this year.
Yes.
The theme is for Earth Day this year. You wrote-
Our power, our planet.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, the 55th anniversary of Earth Day, which started in 1970 by Senator Gaylor Nelson, who created Earth Day to forward Earth Day justice onto the national agenda. So each April 22nd, yes,
Oh, no, we keep going. I just had an idea for a theme. That was it.
please.
Since you says our power, our planet,
planet.
maybe a way that we could is maybe ask the people who are coming to present to do like East Harlem specific projects, what they want to see in their community done to help protect the earth and like environmental impacts and stuff. Because sometimes with Earth Day, we get very general and stuff, but maybe it's a nice challenge to give to be like, how can you impact your community? Because a lot of these kids, that's all they know, yeah.
Captain Plan.
Yeah,
What is your power for the
your power
Earth
for
Day?
this community, yeah.
Like what, even like to the point where, what street do you think we could work on?
Yeah, my neighborhood, my block, my home.
Okay,
There you go, I like
Our
that.
community is overused at this point, I
Right.
think, so my neighborhood, my block.
yeah.
My home,
My school.
My home, my school.
my community, yeah, we should
She said it good.
yeah.
My neighborhood, my block, my home. That's
Say it.
it.
So we can just change it, our neighborhood, our block,
My
our home,
neighborhood, my block, my school, my
Oh,
home.
there we go.
our power.
Come on, Connie.
So the official theme is talking about renewable energy. When it comes to power, do we care about that or no?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Like the official theme, when they're saying power, they're saying it's renewable energy.
Yeah, no, we're.
Right,
We're interpreting it, that's.
Yeah.
Common interpretation.
Okay.
We got it. We
Wait,
got it.
our neighborhood, our what?
My.
No, we changed it to
Our,
our.
we're making it our.
Our home,
Our neighborhood, our.
block,
Well, my block is individual. Our neighborhood,
our home.
my block, your block, my home, your home, my school.
Yeah,
It's,
'cause-
it is individual.
Our neighborhood, our home, our planet.
Good.
Boom, done, let's go.
Sorry, Marlene. And with that being said, new business, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So no old business. This literally was the new business. Roll call, Marlene, and we love you.
Brooks again,
Present.
Stanley Johnson. Connie Lee,
Present.
Malik McCullough,
President.
Samantha Cabrera,
Present.
Debbie Quinones. Russell Schuler,
President.
and Michelle Wilcox.
Yeah.
Present.
Thank you so much, everyone. The meeting is adjourned at 9:19. Any oppositions to the meeting adjourning? Thank you.
Thank you, David.
I'm still here with y'all, don't worry. I'm texting Ash telling him he's over committing, but that's okay.
Okay.
We got our own committee. We got our own committee we got to do an event for.
And that wasn't just for you.
No, I know, but I still.
Recording is still happening.
Oh, hi, guys. Happy New Year.